When mommy and daddy fight, it's a sad day because you know that down the line, it's very likely that it will end in a divorce. And today, for everyone who identifies as conservative or leans conservative or watches conservative content, today is a sad day because mommy and daddy are fighting.
Yes, the question was about Candace Owens. I think her behavior during this has been disgraceful. Without a doubt.
This is the worst.
That's right, you guys heard it. Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens are at it once again. Now, I gotta say, this is really interesting how this whole thing played out. Honestly, it was about time. I think most people were actually expecting this to happen a long time ago. I've been following Ben Shapiro for about 4 years now, and for the most part, I agree with a lot of his perspectives on life, but not always all of them. Same thing with Candace Owens. Honestly, more than anything, I've had like a love and hate relationship with Candace Owens. You see, I was first introduced to Candace Owens when a black guy told me, check out this crazy coon. I'm not kidding. And I remember her watching the video and she was talking about Black Lives Matter. And I was like, how is she crazy here? I mean, what is she saying that's coonish, I guess? And I started following her. I didn't always like her delivery because, you know, her timing's always somewhat off. You know, someone dies and next thing you know, she's on camera doing this.
So I want to come out and say that I do not support George Floyd and the media depiction of him as a martyr for Black America.
Was she right? Absolutely. The guy was a junkie. But was this the perfect timing to sit there and say, why are you celebrating this drug addict, criminal? It was a rough time to defend Candace Owens. But anyways, I usually like her takes and I usually like her perspective on things. And I don't always agree with her either. And you know, I think if her and I would sit down, the conversation would probably go 90% well. And then there's that 10% that might just end up like this.
Finish
Candace,
what
you
I'm saying.
have to have a formed opinion on everything.
No, you don't have to have a formed opinion on everything. What you do have to have is the ability to know when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
But I just said that. I said that to you the entire time.
I said this believe it.
I said I don't believe it. And then you asked me and I said this wouldn't be the hill I chose to die on because I don't
but why
follow
even
it.
say you don't believe in it?
Nevertheless, she has a voice within the black conservative community. Actually, in Black America, even if you're liberal, you probably just hate her. And you wish that she would just one day, you know.
Stanley, Barack is president! You are black, Stanley!
This video is not sponsored by Summer Shandy, but this drink is called the Half Breed. I came up with it myself. Grab yourself a nice Summer Shandy, crack that bad boy open, grab a cup of ice, fill it up halfway. Grab yourself some apple juice, fill up the rest of the cup with apple juice. Preferably 50-50, 50% Summer Shandy, 50% apple juice. But sometimes if you want to get a little froggy, you do 75% Shandy, 25% apple juice. Cheers, stay hydrated. Don't say I never gave you guys any value. So refreshing. So I've expressed this in my Israel and Hamas video that Ben Shapiro has been extremely emotionally involved in the whole Israel and Hamas war or conflict, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's bad. And at first, I think everyone was on board. October 7th happened, which is the 9/11 for the Israelis. Everybody was upset. Everyone backed Israel, and then Israel went in and they got their revenge, just like we did after 9/11. Only issue is that it started losing support by most people. And when I say most people, I mean literally all the liberals, and then the world and international relationships are slowly dwindling and are supporting Gaza at this point. But Ben Shapiro was always the facts, no emotions guy.
Facts don't care about your feelings. And if any phrase, I think, perfectly epitomizes this woke era that we have somehow stumbled into.
Most people know that Ben Shapiro is co-owner of the Daily Wire. Him and Candace Owens don't always agree on topics, but they're relatively always friendly about it because they do their own little show. She's in Nashville, he's in Florida. Nevertheless, sometimes they clash. But what I always found extremely respectable on Daily Wire, and which I always appreciated, is the fact that no matter what their opinions are, if it was left, right, I mean, it's always right, but no matter what their opinions are on the right side, they always never gave each other shit over the fact that they may not agree with one another. There was this level of respect, something you don't always get on the liberal outlets. And this is why I always shit on liberals, because they're always like, we're all accepting, but when you come on and you don't agree with them, they turn into misery.
Here's one big bastard of a check. Give me some of your Christing money. There, look there! See what you made me do?
They just want to torture you. There's no lie about it. Listen, if you have to go to work and another one of those liberal climate changers is sitting in front of me, things may get a little heated.
The 77-year-old opening fire, killing 2 protesters. Screams of terror ringing out as Panamanian police moved in to arrest Darlington.
Not that heated. Honestly, anybody who was celebrating that shit on Twitter, you are a disgusting human being. And I'm the asshole. But recently, Ben Shapiro, the facts over emotions guy, seems to be driven a lot by emotions because he is Jewish. And right now, what's happening between Israel and Hamas is by all means a travesty. It's disgusting what's happening, what Hamas did to the Jewish people in Israel on October 7th. No one can condone that. But it also seems that anytime you also say, hey man, what the Israelis are doing in Gaza isn't okay. And when you have that take, you automatically are considered anti-Semitic, and you get this type of treatment from Ben.
Which part of Israel is occupied Palestine?
All of Israel?
There we go. There we go. There we go. So what you're calling for is the obliteration of the state of Israel, and all of this is just a cover for that. I appreciate your time.
And that's really where he kind of lost me for a while. Because I'm like, I agree with you most of the time, man, but I don't agree with your takes on this situation. It's his take when he doesn't want to listen to the other side and understand exactly what the whole Free Palestine movement is and what the Palestinians' gripes are. Again, he's Jewish. He has family members that likely live in Israel. His family is Jewish. Their ancestors are probably from Israel, so this really hits home for him. But he's had these really extreme takes on the whole situation, and I think it's turned off a lot of people, especially again when you look at statistics and the numbers and facts matter, and it's looking like Israel's losing a lot of support by everybody. But what I've also found very interesting, it seems like the Republicans are all on board with going to war and fighting Iran and basically getting into World War III.
Finish them. Finish them. Hamas did this. You know Iran's behind it. Finish them. They should have hell to pay for what they've just done.
Anyways, Ben Shapiro is doing his typical I'm smarter than you tour, going to various different campuses and calling people anti-Semitic.
The last question, the same question I asked her. Which part of Palestine is occupied?
The entirety of Palestine, but
There we go.
I'm not
Thank you
calling
once
for
again.
the destruction of Jews.
I appreciate you expressing your full genocidal intent
Why-
for the Jewish people living between the river
Why
and
is it genocidal?
While Candace Owens has the different outlook.
I have not weighed in on the IDF's response in the same way that I have consistently said through every war, Ukraine and Russia, I don't want to be involved. I have said I don't want to be involved in Israel and Palestine, all these conflicts. My consistency seems to offend people.
Does not sit well with Ben Shapiro, so he went out, and I don't think he knew he was being recorded, but said this.
The question was about Candace Owens. I think her behavior during this has been disgraceful. Without a doubt. I mean, she still works for my company. And I think she's been absolutely disgraceful. I think that her faux sophistication on these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not faux sophistication, it's ridiculous. Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she's saying, and I find them disreputable.
And this looked extremely bad for Ben Shapiro, which never struck me like a person who would talk about his employees or his co-workers behind their back. But Candace Owens handled the situation very well because the same day that footage got released, she showed up on Tucker Carlson and she said this.
I have a very good relationship with the co-CEOs of the Daily Wire. Especially right now, the acting CEO is Caleb Robinson. But I don't want that video to become a reflection of how the Daily Wire works and the Daily Wire operates, because I have had a very good experience.
So she stayed relatively professional. But like with any divorce, things tend to get ugly. Because after the interview, this happened. And if you're confused, what's happening here? Why are they upset with one another? Well, Jewish people technically don't believe that Jesus is God's son. He's not Jesus Christ. Most Jewish, the traditional Jewish people. New Jews, very different, just like new Christians are very, very different.
I'm fed up with these fringe idiot cases. I mean, they're so mentally defective, these people.
Like, these people are idiots. Do they not realize that they will likely get beheaded or thrown off a building? Stop. And I went to bed and I woke up in the morning and I woke up to these tweets. It seems like this whole beef between the two of them escalated quickly after I went to bed. And unfortunately, it's sad to see because honestly, why are you guys doing this publicly? Don't you have each other's numbers? It's just weird. Either this is like a stunt, like let's get some views, let's get some eyes on Daily Wire, or these people literally are just as bad as TikTokers, the same people they make fun of.
Tell me about a time when a celebrity was rude to you.
Okay, let me try to make this quick. So summer of 2019, me and my best friends, we go to the VMAs because we...
This could potentially be a marketing tactic, to be honest, or this is real, and if it is real, honestly, y'all, I think this may be the rift that many liberals were looking for. I think this is what a lot of people were celebrating, was hoping would happen.
Cenk, what are your thoughts about Candace Owens' tweet?
Would it be disappointing to see Candace Owens go out on her own? No, I don't think so. I wouldn't mind it. And honestly, you'll probably get a little bit more authenticity. When you work with a team, you're going to try to be careful what you say sometimes and what you don't say. Look, I'm on a podcast, I talk about finances, and I'm very, very careful what I say and what I don't say on camera when I talk about finances, although it comes across like I really don't give a shit. But you got to be strategic with it, especially when you work with somebody. So do I think that this could actually be a real issue where we see Candace Owens walking away? There's a possibility she will, and she will start her own thing. She'll be widely successful. I honestly don't think that she needs Daily Wire. If anything, I think Daily Wire would benefit from her being on there. She's the only black voice on Daily Wire, right? Right? I'm not subscribed. I'm subscribed to Breaking Points, though. But it's extremely important what we're seeing right now in this environment, how the shift is happening and how people look at certain situations. And I think if you start analyzing both liberals and Republicans and you look at their issues and what they're upset about and what they're fighting about, you will quickly realize that a lot of them are complete hypocrites.
Did I stutter?
Like, how many Republicans have we seen that will scream anti-gay stuff and then get caught being gay themselves or being caught with child pornography? It's happened more than once, and it's quite frankly, it's embarrassing. So the best way to honestly navigate through this political space is just to really be who you are and be transparent. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening. So when we fall into these categories, when we put ourselves in a box and we say, I am this and I am that, you end up feeding into that narrative and that cult-like behavior. And that's why I encourage you guys, if you watch me, you will see that I have some conservative views and I have some liberal views and I have some independent views. I'm everywhere because I'm a half-breed. And I don't know what to tell you. Have a half-breed drink and fuck off.